Good morning, everybody, and welcome to The Balancing Act. We are so glad you joined us this morning. I'm Julie Moran.
And I'm Olga Villaverdi. You know, mesothelioma is a disease brought on by exposure to asbestos.
Yes.
And while it could take years to show symptoms, the results, Julie, can be deadly, unfortunately. Now, more than 3,000 new cases are diagnosed each year, often attacking people with work-related asbestos exposure decades earlier. We've got the story, great information coming up, and hope for people out there.
That's right. It's so important to, discuss these things and to get that information out there. Plus, we've got something fun. Everybody loves ramen noodles.
Oh, I
They're
do.
wholesome and economical, and while they're delicious straight out of the package, they can also be a great recipe starter for many meals. So let's get going.
I'm hungry.
The Balancing Act starts right now.
It's everyday gourmet time. Who doesn't love ramen noodles? And there are so many ways you can use them. Here are just a few ideas on how you can kick your ramen noodles up a notch.
Kids were having yakisoba noodle for dinner tonight.
Can you use them to make macaroni and cheese?
Sure.
Yakisoba noodles are delicious straight out of the package. Plus, they're affordable and wholesome. And you can use them in other ways too. On tonight's menu, macaroni and cheese. Let's start with the 4 cheese flavored noodles. Using your flavor packets according to instructions, microwave your entrees for 4 minutes.
Oh, Mario, can you get whatever kind of cheese you guys are in the mood for? An assortment would be nice. Oh, and get the chives too.
When all of your bowls are cooked, spread the noodles evenly in a deep dish casserole. Top with the cheeses and diced chives. Now bake it until the top becomes golden. Delicious. No time to bake? Next time add the cheeses directly to the bowls. Bon appetit. Here's an idea for another day using sweet and sour chicken flavored noodles. Cook the noodles according to instructions. As the noodles cook, sauté some chopped onions and green peppers in a frying pan. You can save time by buying them pre-cut in the produce section of your supermarket. Cut up frozen chicken breast nuggets, place them in the microwave, and cook according to instructions. Mix the cooked chicken into the pan and add a little soy sauce to taste. Add the stir-fry noodles and toss.
Dinner's ready.
Wow, after watching that, I can think of all kinds of recipes my family would love. You probably can too. Head to Marichon.com for more great ideas, and you can find Marichon ramen noodles in the soup aisle of your local supermarket. Don't forget to check out our website, thebalancingact.com. It's called mesothelioma, a condition brought on by exposure to asbestos and classified as an orphan disease. And while affecting only a small percentage of the population, both the CDC and National Cancer Institute report that more than 3,000 new cases of mesothelioma are diagnosed each year. Here to discuss this rare but deadly form of cancer and what's being done to bring justice to victims and victims' families is Ricky LeBlanc, managing attorney of Sokolov Law, a nationwide law firm that's helped bring justice and compensation to more than 2,000 victims and their families of asbestos-related diseases and cancers. Good morning, Ricky.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Glad to be here, Olga.
Before we talk about this disease and what your firm is doing, I know this passion that you have of helping people has come from something that happened in your childhood. Would you mind sharing that with us?
Sure. I mean, like many people, many of your viewers, I was the son of a pipe fitter, and my mother was a factory worker, and so I came from a small blue-collar town, and I realized that these people don't get access to justice, and I wanted to do something about that, so I became a lawyer, and fortunately, I landed in an asbestos firm as a young man, and realized that these are my neighbors. These are people, my father's friends. It could be my father.
And let's be honest, these are people that really have done absolutely nothing wrong.
Nothing. These are hard-working men and women that did their jobs, and as a result, come down with this disease.
And let's talk about the disease, mesothelioma. Tell me exactly what it is.
Well, to keep it simple, mesothelioma it's like having plastic wrap around each of your organs that are lined with grease. That stops the organs from rubbing against each other. That's called the mesothelium. And this is just a disease of that mesothelium. It's a cancer, very aggressive, fast-moving cancer.
And when that happens, how long does it take for someone to notice that they've been exposed to this? Are there symptoms?
Yeah, the real issue is you're exposed to it, and then it's 30 to 50 years often before you actually develop the disease. It takes that long to manifest within the body.
Without you even knowing?
You wouldn't know it all.
And then what starts happening after those years?
After a certain amount of time, your body stops being able to react to the infiltration of asbestos, and then you start developing this disease, mesothelioma. At first, it may just feel like low back pain, or it may feel like a little cough, or other symptoms that could be pneumonia-like, and so you think that's what you have. But if you're exposed to asbestos, it's important to let your doctor know that you were, because they may start looking at something other than pneumonia or back sprain.
And Ricky, who falls victim to this?
Well, the majority of the people that developed this disease were in occupations that are part of the trades, whether you are a pipe fitter, a plumber, a carpenter, electrician, or another significant audience is anybody who's worked on ships, whether you be in the Navy or Coast Guard, Merchant Marines, et cetera.
And I can only imagine when someone hears the news, not only is there shock for that individual, but for the entire family, it's got to be so painful.
Yeah, it's a devastating disease, and when you hear that, the primary focus for those families is immediately, how do we take care of our loved one with the disease? How do we seek the treatment? Let's do what's best for them.
And let's talk about Sokolov Law. What are you doing in terms of helping these people and the advantages that one would have to go see you?
Yeah, at Sokolov Law, we understand that these people have been given this devastating news, and they have to do something about that. But they have to do something about it medically. When they call us, we take care of the legal aspects of a case or a claim that they may have. So we go to their homes, we do interviews there, we make it as easy as possible. They should concentrate on fighting this disease. We'll concentrate on getting them justice.
So really it does involve the whole family, because you need to not only talk to the victim, but also the family members in terms of finding out what happened here.
Yeah, I mean, often family members, and sometimes it's more like a brother or a sister that knew them when they were young, knew exactly where they were exposed and what happened, and so everybody gets involved. And let's face it, the nuclear family, the husband and wife, depending on which one's injured, they're concentrating on helping their spouse. And so it's oftentimes we talk to other family members to help assist in building a case.
There is no cure for this disease, obviously.
There isn't, not that right now, but there's a lot of research going on. We're hopeful.
So when you hear these victims, they obviously know what's going to happen.
Generally speaking, they do, yes.
Is it somewhat, and I say this very carefully, rewarding for you to know that you've helped somebody that knows that they will eventually die from this?
That's why I do this. I mean, we started this interview off talking about the blue-collar families, where I come from, and I want to seek justice for them. This is an avoidable disease. If people didn't use asbestos, manufacturers didn't use asbestos in their products, people wouldn't have this disease. And so it gives a great deal of satisfaction to get justice for these people. And you have people that thank you all the time because they want to leave knowing that their family's taken care of.
You've had so many cases at Sokolov Law. Is there one that stands out in your mind that you'll never forget?
I remember an elderly gentleman that was battling with the disease. His health was failing rapidly, and he just looked at me when he got his first check and said, thank you so much. My roof is leaking. My wife doesn't have to live with this leaking roof anymore. I know it's going to be fixed. I know you guys will take care of her.
Really great information today, Ricky. For anybody out there that may know someone who's been diagnosed with mesothelioma, anywhere they can go to find out more about your law firm?
Yes, they should go to the web, to sokolovlaw.com. They'll find all the information they need there.
Thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate your time. And if you'd like to find out more about today's topic, you can visit us at thebalancingact.com, that's thebalancingact.com, or log on to Facebook/The Balancing Act Fans. As the nation's oldest gun manufacturer, Remington is not only a company rich in its own history, but an integral part of American history as well. From eastern forest land to southern farms to the western frontier, Remington was there. And the legacy lives on as this iconic American company celebrates its upcoming 200th anniversary. Here to share Remington's commitment to ammunition excellence is Jessica Brooks Stevens, who, along with marketing duties for Barnes, is branding lead for Remington and Barnes ammunition products products. She's a shooting industry respected ballistics expert, and we are pleased to have her here today. Good morning.
My pleasure, Olga. Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here. In fact, I heard you just got back from Africa.
I did. My mom and I were there for 14 days, had a wonderful safari.
What an experience. I've always wanted to do that, maybe later with my girls.
Okay, family is definitely fun to go with.
And let's talk about family, because I know you have a long-standing connection to the firearms industry. It's a family affair for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. My parents owned and operated Barnes Bullets from 1974 through 2010, upon which time Remington acquired the business.
And as we focus today on firearm ammunition, and I'm not very educated on this, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, tell us the choice of ammunition as an important consideration for not only gun safety, which is so important, but also, you know, functionality as well.
Well, in regards to gun safety and functionality, it's really important that shooters understand the kind of ammunition that they can put into their firearm. For example, .380 auto is a very popular personal defense choice today. And some ammunition and some guns are labeled differently. You'll find some ammunition labeled as .380 auto, some labeled as .380 ACP. Same thing with the guns. Well, what the shooters need to know is that they can use either one, they can interchange. So that's just an example of understanding what can go in your firearm so that you can get the optimum performance that you're looking for.
And help me understand, because again, you're educating me today, and I was reading here, personal defense ammunition. How is that different from, saying, target shooting?
So ammunition used on the range is typically loaded with a full metal jacket bullet. So when I talk about bullets, it's the projectile that comes out of the barrel. Ammunition is the loaded round. So full metal jackets are what you would typically use on the range, and then a hollow point bullet is what you would really use for personal defense.
Okay, and you brought in some ballistics video. We're gonna roll on it now, and tell me exactly what we're looking at.
Okay, so what we're looking at is the actual bullet, the projectile, going through heavy clothing into a ballistics gelatin block. And so there are two clips. One is with the Ultimate Defense Compact Handgun Remington product. The other is with the Barnes TAC-X PD product. These are both optimized for personal defense in those short-barreled, small, compact handguns.
And tell me what grain count is.
So grain count is really the weight of the bullet. When you pick up a box of ammunition, you'll notice that it has, this is 9mm Luger with 124 grains. That is the weight of the bullet. So in grains. And typically lighter, faster projectiles produce less recoil. Heavier projectiles produce less velocity and heavier recoil.
And that special sticker on the package, what's that?
So the TAC-X PD product has a lenticular sticker that actually shows the way that the bullet functions.
Look at that.
When it hits media, so you know how this bullet is performing.
I'll be honest, I didn't know there was so much science behind this. Now, what about the price differences with ammunition? I'm assuming there has to be. Absolutely.
Range and target ammunition are priced accordingly so that shooters can put, you know, thousands of rounds downrange and be able to do that affordably. The personal defense ammunition, there's a lot more engineering. It's very intensive production-wise, so you know that all adds up to costs, and therefore the shooter is really going to you really get what you pay for with personal defense ammunition.
Jessica, any closing remarks on maybe women out there who are thinking of taking some classes or maybe even purchasing a firearm?
Yeah, you know, I think it's really important to get educated and experienced before purchasing a firearm. And really, if you go to the classes and you get range time, whether that's through a rental program or you know, borrowing a firearm, or shoot as much as you can, because that gives you confidence and will allow you to make a very informed decision when you go out to purchase your personal defense firearm.
And as a mother, I can say possibly not even be as frightened as maybe I would be if I started doing that.
Well, and you know, I think with knowledge comes power.
Absolutely.
And so that's my advice.
All right, so if I ever take my girls on a safari to Africa, I'm gonna call you and tell us to come with us.
I'll give you some tips.
I'll feel safe with you. Thank you so much, Jessica.
Okay.
You're always invited to find out more about gun safety and self-protection. Just visit us at thebalancingAct.com. And always give us your input, concerns, or questions about today's topic. Simply log on to Facebook.com/The Balancing Act Fans.
Well, if you are a small or medium-sized business owner, how do you compete with the much bigger companies out there and kind of level the playing field? Answer, you hire the best people and you use the best business tools possible. With us to discuss the best of breed business tools for your business success is Rodrigo Vaca, Vice President of Marketing for Zoho Corporation. Hey there.
Hi, Danielle. How are you?
Nice to meet you. Nice firm handshake, the first rule of business.
Exactly.
Let's talk to the small business owners out there or those who are planning to start a small business. How do they compete more effectively today?
Well, you basically need two things. The first one is to make sure that you got the right tools, like the tools that big businesses have, but for your small business. And the second thing is to make sure that those apps are very easy to use and they don't get in the way of you doing business.
I think apps are so important. Let me ask you this before we get into that. How important is the ability to kind of work anytime from anywhere?
Oh, it's super important. Before, work was a place you went to. Now work is just something you do, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever you are, and that's why having the right apps in your laptop or in your phone is important for you to work from anywhere.
So what makes these apps so important for small businesses?
Well, the first thing is there's nothing to install or servers to take care of. The second one, especially for small businesses, they're very affordable and there's a pay-as-you-go model, so you don't need to commit long-term. And the third one is they're very easy to use. So you can focus on your business and not on managing your software.
I think that's something that people out there who are thinking of starting a business or have one would really appreciate hearing. So Rodrigo, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Danielle.
I appreciate meeting you, and I know you're going to be back. And I also want to say I hope my husband is watching today because I think this can be really helpful for his small business as well and yours as well. So honey, are you listening? If you'd like to learn more, visit us at thebalancingact.com and of course, share with us too by logging on to Facebook/Balancing Act Fans.
We are so glad you spent part of your morning with us.
And there's always lots more info on all of today's topics on our website, thebalancingact.com. Check it out.
And don't forget, we are social. Find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Thanks for joining us. And remember,
Find your balance, everybody. So long.